जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च। श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमपदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So with the permission of Raghu Prabhu, I have taken another verse today, not the sequel verse. So today we'll discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, but another verse from Canto 4. This is 4:24, 15. 4:24:50. How will devotees recite? It's easy to recite also. You may be able to recite without seeing also. Yad uktam pati drishtena girishena prasidata tadhyayanto japantascha पूजयन्तश्च सम्यताः यदुक्तं प्रतिदृष्टेन गिरीशेन प्रसीदता तद्ध्यायन्तो जपन्तश्च पूजयन्तश्च सम्यताः यदुक्तं प्रतिदृष्टेन गिरीशेन प्रसीदता तद्ध्यायन्तोपजपन्तश्च पूजयन्तश्च सम्यताः यदुक्तं प्रतिदृष्टेन गिरीशेन प्रसीदता तद्ध्यायन्तो जपन्तश्च पूजयन्तश्च सम्यताः यदुक्तं प्रतिदृष्टेन गिरीशेन प्रसीदता तद्ध्यायन्त जपन्तश्च पूजयन्तश्च सम्यताः यदुक्तं प्रतिदृष्टेन गिरीशेन प्रसीदता तद्ध्यायन्त जपन्तश्च पूजयन्तश्च सम्यता. वैष्णवीस्. यदुक्तं पतिदृष्टेन गिरीशेन प्रसीदता तद्ध्यायन्तो जपन्तश्च पूजयन्तश्च सम्यताः. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai. Yat, that. Uktam, said. Pati, on the way. Drishtena, while meeting. Girishena, by Lord Shiva. Prasidata, being very much satisfied. Tat, that. Dhyayantaha, meditating. Japantaha cha, chanting also. Pujayantaha cha, worshipping also. Samyataha, with great control. Translation. When all the sons of Prachina Barhi left home to execute austerities, they met Lord Shiva, who out of great mercy instructed them about the absolute truth. All the sons of Prachina Barhi meditated upon the instructions, chanting and worshipping them with great care and attention. Purport. It is clear that to perform austerities or penances, or for that matter any form of devotional service, one has to be guided by a spiritual master. Here it is clearly stated that the 10 sons of Maharaj Prachina Barhi were favored by the appearance of Lord Shiva, who, out of great kindness, gave them instructions regarding the execution of austerities. Lord Shiva actually became the spiritual master of the 10 sons, and in turn, his disciples took his words so seriously that simply by meditating upon his instructions, Dhyayantaha, they became perfect. This is the secret of success. After being initiated and receiving the orders of the spiritual master, the disciple should unhesitatingly think about the instructions or orders of the spiritual master and should not allow himself to be disturbed by anything else. This is also the verdict of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who, while explaining a verse of Bhagavad Gita, Vyavasayatmika Buddhir Eke Hai Kurunandana, Bhagavad Gita 2.41, points out that the order of the spiritual master is the life substance of the disciple. The disciple should not consider whether he is going back home, back to Godhead. His first business should be to execute the order of his spiritual master. Thus, a disciple should always meditate on the order of the spiritual master, and that is perfectional meditation. Not only should he meditate upon that order, but he should find out the means by which he can perfectly worship and execute it. Hare Krishna. So I seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis assembled here in order to speak something on this illustrious verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, as I have heard from the Parampara, for my own purification, for all of your pleasure and the deity's pleasure. So this is a very important principle in the Krishna consciousness program, Bhakti program. So there are three words used: dhyayantaha, dhyayantaha, japantaha, and pujayantaha. So the prachetas, the sons of Prachina Bhari, they constantly meditated on the instructions they received from Lord Shiva, and then they were actually doing japanta and pujanta also. That means they worshipped those instructions. They considered that instructions as what it is worshipable. If some great soul has given an instruction, that is actually worthy of worship. In the Sikh religion, they worship Guru Granth Sahib, the book, because the word of God is God. They worship the book itself. So to worship the order of the spiritual master, and then also finding out the right means to execute them. So all three should be done. So in the Krishna consciousness movement, this principle has been especially taken by our founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada very seriously in his life, and he personified it. He quotes here Vyavasatmika Buddhi, verse 2.41, the commentary by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, where it is mentioned by him that the order of the spiritual master is the life substance of the disciple. He should not even consider his going back home, back to Godhead. Usually when we talk to people, we say the goal of life is to go back home, back to Godhead. But as we come into devotion service, gradually the process becomes more sublime. Going back to Godhead is surely the goal, but why do we want to go back to Godhead? So the goal of going back to Godhead is not to just relax there or be happy because I'm no more having the Adi Bhautika, Adi Atmika, Adi Devika Kleshas or the Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. One is not actually fighting to just get out of this cycle of birth and death. And one does not want the association of Krishna for his own self happiness in one sense. As he says, that verse, Salokya Sarishti Samipya Sarupyakat Apyuta Diyavanam na Grihananti Vinamat Sevanam Jana. That means even to stay with on the same planet with the Lord, to actually stay very close to the Lord, to have the same form as the Lord, to have the opulences like the Lord, or forget about the Sayujya Mukti. These four muktis also are rejected by the devotee because they are rejected if that is bereft of service. Vinamat sevanam. If seva is not there, if service is not there, then I don't care about this sarupya, to get a form like the Lord. But will I get to serve the Lord, or I'm just getting a form like the Lord? So then I don't want it if I don't get the service. So going back to God, it is not the goal of the devotee. In the discussions of Lord Chaitanya with Tattvavadi Acharya in Udupi, so Tattvavadi Acharya said, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I think it's echoing. It's too loud. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, so what is the Abhidhe and what is the Prayojan? And Tattvavadi Acharya said that actually Varnashram is the way and Vaikuntha is the goal, liberation is the goal. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said no. The Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, that is the way, and Preeti is the goal. Love is goal. Not that we somehow get out of this world and go to Vaikuntha. So this verse, Vyavasatmika Buddhi verse, Vishwanath Thakur puts the point, very amazing point. He says, this verse can only apply to a person in Bhakti Yoga. This verse cannot apply to any other yoga system. Why? Because Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, Ekeha Kurunanda means one is having one-pointed intelligence. But one cannot have one-pointed intelligence in any other yoga. Why? Because in any activity, there is a Abhidaya and a Prayojan. The Abhidaya is the process and there is a goal to be achieved. Like say someone is studying for getting into MIT college. So if he's studying to get into MIT college, the goal is to get into MIT. And he's studying some books. So the activity which he's doing, he has to meditate on that. And what he wants to achieve, he has to meditate on that also. So he cannot have one intelligence, he has two. He has to have two things in the intelligence. So when the Abhidaya and Prayojan are not the same, one cannot have one point in intelligence. So in all other processes, there is a Abhidaya which is separate from the Prayojan. Prayojan is finally to get back in the loving relation with Lord. But the process is karma, jnana. So karma, jnana don't... Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Karma, jnana don't exist in the spiritual world. The karma, jnana are just a byproduct of ahetuki apritiyata bhakti. So bhakti is the abhidaya. In the Bhakti Yoga program, bhakti is the abhidaya and bhakti is the goal. That is why in Krishna consciousness, like Prabhupada was asked, what do you get by chanting Hare Krishna? Chanting Hare Krishna, So the Vyavasatmika Buddhi verse is applicable only for Bhakti Yoga. And what is this principle? What is that Vyavasatmika Buddhi? What is that one-pointed intelligence? Where is it focused at? It is focused at the instruction of the spiritual master. One time when His Grace Jayanand Prabhu was asked by one devotee that, Prabhu, how should we make very fast advancement in Krishna consciousness? So he said, I am so busy serving Srila Prabhupada that I have no time to think about this question. So he answered the question without answering the question. But he didn't answer the question. He said, I am so busy that I have no time for thinking of this question. But actually, what is he busy in? He is trying to please Prabhupada. So he was trying to always please Prabhupada, and that is actually the way to advance the fastest back to Godhead. So one is thinking how to go back to Godhead, but one is actually absorbed in the process which will take him back to Godhead. Yeah. Like once His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj was asked by one of our students in voice. He said, Maharaj, what will be ISKCON after 50 years? He said, you all can think about it. I am working upon it. I am doing it. So actually, a great soul is absorbed in action to loving service to Krishna. He said, when we further elaborate, he said, when we take responsibilities in the mission of the spiritual master, that is actually Raganuga Bhakti. Someone may say, what is this? Raganuga? Raganuga, we thought that His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj. He said, actually, when we are absorbed in loving service to the master, that is actually Raga. So take responsibility. So we see this is this is a foundational principle which should guide our life. In devotional service, it is not about only doing activities, but what is the intention behind the activities. Like in this pure devotional service verse by Srila Rupa Goswami, the beautiful verse, Anya vilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulena krishnano shilanam bhaktiruttama. So in that verse, forget about pure devotional service. Even to call it devotional service, the Sarup Lakshan is Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam Bhakti. So that Anukulena Krishnanu Shilanam, that Anukule, refers to doing favorable devotion service. And then there is a clarification there. Favorable means something should please Krishna. So then there is a clarification point there that Yashoda Maya, when she was keeping Krishna aside and going for the milk which was boiling over on the stove, so she made Krishna upset. Now Krishna said, "Oh, milk is more important than me. That means I am not so important." So he became very angry. But that actually displeasure of Krishna is born out of bhakti of the Yashoda. So that is bhakti, favorable. Although apparently it became displeasing to Krishna. And when Chanu and Mushtika are fighting with Krishna, Krishna is getting the pleasure of doing wrestling. He likes to do some wrestling also. So Chanu and Mushtika are apparently giving pleasure to Krishna. But they are not intending to give pleasure to Krishna. So that is not bhakti. So bhakti is not just somehow pleasing Krishna, but having intention to please Krishna. It's not incidentally pleasing Krishna, but to intentionally want to please Krishna. The intention is disposed favorably towards Krishna. So Mother Yashoda, when she is actually leaving Krishna and going to the milk boiling over the stove, she actually has the intention that the Padmagandha cow's milk, which is for my dear Krishna, it should not get lost. So she is actually thinking of Krishna only, service to Krishna. She is actively intention for service to Krishna. So one place Prabhupada writes that this tension which one has, Mother Yashoda is always in tension. Oh, if Krishna goes to the forest, how will his soft lotus feet, how will they walk on the harsh land of, the pebbles will prick him. So constantly in anxiety, oh, some wild animals may be there. He may forget eating also. I'm, keeping the tiffin, but all these Gopa friends also, and he both get lost in enjoying playful activities. So he may stop, not eat. So like that, she is in constant anxiety. And Prabhupada tells that this anxiety is the highest form of devotion service. He says to purchase this anxiety, one should do anything in life. One should be ready to pay any price. That is actually one verse. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati kriyatam yati kutopi labhyate tatra rolyam api mulyam ekalam janma koti sukrite na labhyate. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati. That means it's not just Krishna mati. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavita mati. Sometimes people say we have to remember Krishna. But actually we have to remember Krishna with a bhakti bhav. And what is the bhakti bhav? That is seva bhav. How to actively serve Krishna, how to absorb. Of course we can remember Krishna, but it is not like a jnani or that like a yogi meditation. It is a bhakti yoga meditation, which is Krishna bhakti ras bhavitamati. How can I please Krishna? In that Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati kriyatam yadi kutopi labhyate. If you can get it anywhere, this type of mati, please purchase it. And what is the price to be paid? Tatra lolyam, the intense greed to have it. Api mulyam ekalam. Janma koti janam sukrite na labhyate. One cannot get it by millions of lifetimes of pious credits. So, when we see the life of Srila Prabhupada, actually he was not just doing activities in devotional service, he was constantly meditating on the instruction of his spiritual master. He opened ISKCON for one instruction. If, why don't, you are a young Englishman, you are a young man, why don't you go to the West, English, why don't you preach in the Western world? And he took all the ordeals, came on Jalduta here to Boston Harbor and made a miracle happen. And another thing we got, whenever you get money, print books. So one instruction, he opened ISKCON, another instruction he opened BBT. And he was constantly in meditation on the instruction of his spiritual master. When he got the third heart attack, when he was in America, that time, before going for hospital, he said, please take me to my room where Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's picture was kept. He paid full prostrate obeisances and he prayed to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada that, oh, my dear spiritual master, it was your desire that I do something for this mission of Lord Chaitanya, and I'm trying, but now my health is failing like this. I do not know what is the plan of yours. So you can decide whatever is the plan, but this is my state of, I'm reporting to you. So he's reporting to the spiritual master even in that mood, in the moment of utter crisis of heart attack also, because he is not thinking that I am come here and I am going to do some big thing. He is just thinking that I am executing the will of my spiritual master. And like that, we see one time one devotee was telling that His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj is wanting a loan for making a temple from the BBT. So, okay, how will he return that loan? With the, gradually as the money pours in from the temple, then he'll return also. So, Prabhupada said, yes, it can be granted. And then he said, but there is one problem that for some months, because the money will go as a loan, our printing will be halted. First of all, books. Prabhupada immediately says, first of all, books. You know, actually, that devotee is asking questions in a very normal way. But when he puts this point, that book printing will be halted, then immediately, first of all, books. This is our policy. You should always remember, this is our policy. So where is it coming from? It is coming from that instruction. When Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was with him at Radhakund, and he said, Agun Jolbe, there is fire in the mutt. I wish if I can sell off all the marble of the mutt and distribute books by that. So Prabhupada took it from his heart that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur likes printing of books and distribution of books. In fact, in Gaudiya Mutt, their dome also, they make with like a mridangam, and it's Brihat Mridanga. Mridangam playing is only sounding in the temple hall, but book distribution is Brihat Mridanga. So Srila Prabhupada was very eager that all devotees distribute his books. Like now, Bhadra Purnima is coming after Janmashtami. Bhadra Purnima is coming. So his case, Vaishashika Prabhu wants as many 1 lakh 8 no? 1 lakh 8 books, Bhagavatam sets to be distributed all over the world. So more we take this kind of a instruction of the spiritual master as our life and soul, then miracles can happen. And actually we will be part of the miracle. Miracle is happening because it is the will of the Lord, or will of the will of a pure devotee to please the Lord. So in devotional service, this intention to please a personality is very foundational to the Bhakti Yoga paradigm of life. Because someone may be doing activities, like say someone is doing, say, youth preaching, and his superior, his spiritual master has also told that you should do youth preaching. So it is not just because we are matching in the gross instruction that we have come to Bhakti Yoga paradigm. Like say, suppose I am doing youth preaching, and if I do youth preaching so that I can get some followers, get some name, fame, I will have a YouTube channel, I have this, I have that. And somehow it matches also the desire of my spiritual master. So I have incidentally pleased my spiritual master. He will say, oh, very nice, you have very nicely performed this preaching activity. But what was my intention? My intention was otherwise. Then it's not going to bring Bhakti Yoga result. The purification is not going to be the same. So the intention behind the action also becomes very vital in the Bhakti Yoga paradigm. So both should be there, intention and action. Someone says, okay, I am for the pleasure of Guru Maharaj, but what he's doing is against the instruction of the spiritual master. That is grossly wrong, So gross and subtle both are important in Bhakti Yoga, the action and the intention. So in the Bhakti Yoga paradigm, this is the way of working. But many times, actually, it is very important to introspect that what is the basis of my taking decisions in life. Like there can be many... Yeah, you can close. Okay. There can be many lower paradigms of taking decisions in life. So I've just thought of some, you can think of more. So one can be liking and disliking, what I like to do or what I don't like to do, So someone likes, like say, suppose one time I had gone to GEV, Govardhan Eco Village, and I was seeing his Gauranga Prabhu. He was making that temple which is now there. So he was himself putting big stone pieces over and making the temple in the hot sun of April. That April sun is very high there actually, very hot. He was himself putting the stone pieces because Maharaj was coming after 15 days, and by that time the temple should be fully ready. You know. So, and then he was telling in the Bhagavatam class to all of us that here we are also doing certain other features for people to see. Like we have made the traditional arts come out through the architecture, and we have also created employment for the unemployed. So I was talking to, later I asked him after Bhagavatam, Prabhu, you love Bhagavatam, you are like a Rasik Bhakta in Bhagavatam, you would dive in Bhagavatam and not like to come out. So how you feel when doing construction activity and thinking of employment and. So what is, how did you change your flavor like this? You know, he said to do things what you like to do is nothing to do with devotion service. You know, you know. He said if you do things what you like to do, if you do an activity because you like to do, then that is and that is dovetailed in devotion. So that is karma yoga. If you read just because you like to read, then that is jnana yoga. But if you do things or read because it will please Guru and Krishna, that is bhakti yoga. So simply by going by liking, disliking. Once his case Jananivas Prabhu was also asked in a brahmachari camp that I think this went off. In a brahmachari camp, he was asked that what is the one thing we should do to remain brahmachari lifelong? He contemplated and said, not one thing. We have to do two things. We have to give up what we like and we have to give up what we don't do. That does not mean that we cannot do what we like. But that is not the basis of our action. The basis of the action is not, I like to do this, so I will. The basis is what will please Guru and Krishna. So, one time, His Holiness, I think it was His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj or His Holiness Bhakti Sarup Damodar Maharaj. So they had come to Srila Prabhupada, and he had come to Prabhupada and asked Prabhupada, you are taking so much tensions, so many problems you are solving. How do you keep solving so many problems of management? I get bogged up with little management which I am doing. But how do you keep solving the problems of management which are coming? Prabhupada said, I don't see any problems. I see only service to my spiritual master. So the problem, when it is seen as, okay, I am solving these problems, then it does not give the rasa, which actually comes when we are thinking of the personality who will get pleased when we make this uh, a beautiful offering to his heart. So the heart, the heart has to be lost to some personality. That is Bhakti Yoga paradigm. So liking and disliking is not wrong, but to have the basis of the decision as liking, disliking, that may be wrong. Another mentality can be fruity mentality, like whether I will get people through this program, what I do, will this service bring me some security in form of people around me, some projects I have accomplished, some money I have received, some things get donors or some facilities I will get. This service is more privileged because I get a car, or sometimes magnitude, that this is seen as a big service, and kuch bada, I should do something big, or prestige, or influence, or power, or post, or position. All this is coming from fruity mentality. So this is also not the basis for right bhakti yoga paradigm. Sometimes convenience or comfort becomes the paradigm. What is comfortable to do? Like in India's, like when it is raining, sometimes devotees says, Prabhuji, today it is raining, so we cannot go out for book distribution. So, but if you ask, will you go to office if it is raining? Obviously, Prabhuji, office we have to go because rain or no rain, boss expects us. So, if for why do you want to go to office? Because you get money, So for the money of this world, we are ready to face the inconvenience of rain. But when it comes to service to Krishna, whether we are ready to face the inconvenience or not, or we give an excuse that this is the inconvenient, so I will not do it. You know. So life may have inconvenience. Think about Srila Prabhupada. Actually, sometimes our devotees go for youth preaching and they see whole hostel, so many rooms are locked. Prabhuji, what is the use? So much difficulty. Prabhuji, our service we are trying to do, but still no result also, and so much of efforts going on. So I tell them, see, think about it. After facing some little difficulty, you are in India only. You are facing so much difficulty in getting one boy. You are sweating like anything to get. You're shedding your blood to get one boy to center. Think about Srila Prabhupada who went to the West and he was dealing with those situations. So how much inconvenience he took. He went on Jalduta cargo ship. Today no one is going in cargo ship. none of the successors from Prabhupada sent on a cargo ship. Prabhupada went on cargo ship at the age of 70, faced heart attacks. So convenience is not the benchmark of action. And another can be abilities. What is my ability set? This does not match my ability. But if you see the idea of the South Indian Brahmana who was instructed by his spiritual master that you should read Bhagavad Gita, but he did not know how to read only. So he could have said, Swamiji, I understand your desire, but I don't think I am able. So ability is not the thing. Actually, mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate kirip jat kripatamam vande. Shri Guru Dinu Taranam. So simply by executing the will of the master, like his grace, Rameshwar Prabhu says about that CC in 2 months. Huh? So in 2 months, actually, there's a beautiful lecture of Rameshwar Prabhu on that. That when the whole discussion happened in the morning walk, he said impossible. And Srila Prabhupada said, impossible is a word in fool's dictionary. And Prabhupada went on, then started walking. Then all the other GBC members were looking at Rameshwar Prabhu and his one partner in BBT. That let us see what will you do. That time people had a rasa. That now you have got the top instruction. Let us see what you know. So Rameshwar Prabhu and the devotee, they both understood. Now it is not that we have to think that whether it is possible or not. We have to think how to make it possible. And then he said, from nowhere, from some higher powers, such ideas started pouring into our heads that this is workable. And then they met the whole team and they did not talk that whether it is possible or not. They said that we have to make it possible. And then everyone started pouring ideas, and within 2 months, actually 17 books of 17 volume Chaitanya Charitamrita came out as a historical thing. And his case, Rameshwar Prabhu says, even now if someone asks me, can we do it? I will still say, impossible. Because although I have made it happen, but I did not make it happen. It was a higher power because Prabhupada wanted it, so something else worked. So when we have a dependency on the mercy and instruction rather than thinking the ability, then things work in another way. We are empowered. It is not our power. It is empowered. Someone else's power is actually making it happen. So, like that, someone may have a wrong idea from abilities. No, I'm not qualified, Prabhu, because I'm not able. The ability is not the point. Just take the instruction seriously. Also, someone may have something is not looking spiritual. Like I was telling about management does not sometimes look spiritual. Like one time Prabhupada was discussing Charles Darwin theory defeating with His Holiness Sattva Sarup, Bhakti Sarup Damodar Maharaj. And one devotee said, Prabhupada, can we do some kirtans? So Prabhupada said, what do you think we are doing? This is kirtan. We are glorifying Krishna by defeating Charles Darwin. But for him, it was like Charles Darwin defeating is like too much scientific stuff. We don't, little bit spiritual stuff should be there. So this is also sometimes we think that some instruction is less spiritual and something is more spiritual. Like counting cement bags. When Swamiji, when he was told by Prabhupada in Vrindavan that please count cement bags and put it in lock and key. Prabhupada, I thought I will chant Hare Krishna in Vrindavan. Prabhupada said, service first, samadhi later. So when we take instructions with that idea that this is not so spiritual, I want to be more sublime and spiritual, then we don't think that instruction, we don't take it to the heart. then we are thinking that what will purify me, separate from the Acharya's instruction. You know? So, so like that, people may have various types of paradigms, wrong paradigms. So that is not Bhakti Yoga paradigm. And when Bhakti Yoga has to be there, even if one knows what is the paradigm Bhakti Yoga, many times devotee does not have any personality in his heart. He's just doing activities, but he does not think of a personality to be pleased through that activity. He is incidentally doing activities which are in devotional service. But Guru Padashraya is the foundation to all the other activities. Like imagine if I go to a dham, but my master wants me to serve in the DT room, then going to dham is also not devotional service. It is actually utpat, because it is not Guru Padashraya. So one has to have a personality whose pleasure is guiding the action. So sometimes people know Bhakti Yoga paradigm, but they don't have a personality in their heart. So we have to consciously cultivate attachment to personalities, great personalities like Prabhupada and our spiritual master and all. And the next step is, after knowing a personality, sometimes people have an aberration in consciousness in what will please the master. They have their own version of things. Like one time, Prabhupada would often say that if you want to please me, distribute my books. So one time, some book distributor asked Prabhupada, because he already knew this way Prabhupada says. So he was asking in an assembly of people who are not so much the book distributors, but in other departments, Prabhupada, what service pleases you the most? And Prabhupada understood that why is he asking. So Prabhupada said, if you love Krishna, that will please me the most. You know. So sometimes the instruction gross is seen separate from the intention of the master. That means, say, book distribution is pleasing to Prabhupada, but what happens by distributing books is we are expressing our love for Krishna. If Krishna is pleased with that book distribution, then Prabhupada will be pleased. So the action external may remain, but the value system of the spiritual master may not have been fully taken up. Like if we are doing, like Prithu Maharaj gave up the 100th yagna to please Krishna by giving up the, actually yagna is done to please Krishna, but he gave up the yagna to please Krishna because he understood the essence of all. So sometimes action is there, but the value system is not matching. And people say, I am pleasing Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, I did the action which will please Master, but they are proud, they are offending, they are fighting, then that is not going to please the Master. So the attachment is there, but action is not rooted in intention. Why he has said what he has said. So to understand the moods and then the mission. Mission without the mood is also not going to be complete. The moods have to be understood. The values have to be understood. Then the master can be pleased properly. And then the Bhakti Yoga has its full scope of touching our life and make it sublime actually. So this verse Vyavasatmika Buddhi or the Japantascha Pujayantascha is a very important verses. So in order to do this, we should regularly hear about the great souls and we should hear from them. And we should also remember their activities, their qualities. Like Srila Prabhupada, many anecdotes have been documented in books. And then we should churn with each other those instructions and their qualities so that we can live in the Bhakti Yoga paradigm. While doing action, we have the sweetness of Bhakti, and then also the right action based on the Bhakti. Sometimes we may have a certain understanding of what Prabhupada will be pleased with, and we should consult other devotees also. Because sometimes we may have our idea, but actually when we consult other devotees, our idea becomes more mature. So consulting other Vaishnavas who are also fixed in trying to please the spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada makes our devotional service a more mature one. So that way we can make bhakti really pleasing to our spiritual masters. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ji ki jai. Any comment, Prabhu? Any comment? Any question? Anything? Yes, Prabhu. Mike.
This point about intention also today you emphasized very nicely. So I was thinking that it's like a journey. I was feeling that because The intentions are something very core, very deep actually. Sometimes we may do action and we may have idea that I have good intentions, but actually we may have some good intentions also, but there is so much scope of fine tuning it actually. So once Radhesham was telling that, keep doing that and keep purifying, it will get purified more and more and more like that it is. It's like, milk eventually becoming rubbery, something like that. So it's like a journey, I feel. So I think your lecture gave that emphasis that how we have to also, looking at our intentions. Sometimes we do action right and, we have some intentions and we think it's fine, but there is so much of scope of refining actions also and intention also both. And sometimes when intentions become more refined, then we may want to modify actions also, better. So I was thinking that that kind of openness, if we can have that, how I have to grow in my both actions and intentions like that. And very good way you told how the blocks are there, like liking, disliking, convenience. We may try to depend on our abilities. Anything more you said? Apart from four. Yeah, so fruity mentality like that. You said some gross checks like that, and you said about introspection, like we have to keep introspecting. So there should be some time where you can introspect also, because devotional service can just become like a chore. You may just keep doing, and which direction we are going, we will not know. So I was in Radhana Swami Maharaj, he was saying the same thing, that in which direction our consciousness is going, we have to keep check on that. So in bhakti, it's like I feel with your lecture, it's a great responsibility, inner responsibility as well. Apart from outer responsibility, comes up, being an institution, but there is a very deep inner responsibility also expected out of us. So that's what it gives a sense of responsibility for taking that responsibility as well. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
So what you said is very proper. The one thing which is just required is that we know that we are vulnerable. So intentions are perfect. We have some good intention also. But if we trust that good intention so much that we don't have any doubt about that it's all pure, there is mixture basically usually. Bhakti yoga is, there are pure devotion service and then there are 81 types. So we have certain other things also in our intentions and an action also. So when we are knowing our vulnerability in both intention and action, then we are open to feedback. We are open to consulting Vaishnavas proactively to make our action and intention better. And apart from introspection, the process of sadhana bhakti itself, the actually we cannot understand intention by intellect always. Sometimes it is so explicitly visible that I'm craving for something ulterior, but oftentimes it's so subtle that it may require some feedback from Vaishnavas, or it may come when we keep chanting. So Shanvatam Katha Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana Hridi Antasto Abhadrani, the Abhadra of the heart Vidhunoti, Vishishta Rupena Dunoti. Ma cleaning happens by Krishna. Krishna can clean the intention thoroughly. Otherwise, we can't really clean our intention also thoroughly because we can't see it also. It's coming from the subtler from and the intention is subtler from intelligence, the ego. So the intention is so difficult to discern. So it's best that we try to introspect, at the same time keep our sadhana process very regulated, because that sadhana process will allow us to remain in the cleaning program, and then it will happen. And his Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually talks about these subtle things, puja la pratishtha and all those things to be removed in the Gundicha Marjan discussion. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's commentaries about that we have to remove the finer things also.
Whatever we can come to know, you can come to know. But as you said, same thing. Whatever you can come to know, you can try. But after that, we have to also depend on Krishna and process of devotional service. Keep doing that, then we'll get to understand better and how we can purify. Well, that itself is purifying also. And we may also get, as you said, intellectually also we may understand sometimes, whatever. So that is how, so the both ways. And feedback also you said. Feedback, we should open, we should.
Actually, we have to have some Vaishnavas in our life who we trust more than ourselves. We think that I may not be able to discern my situation, but they can understand it. Then we can be safe. Yes. Okay, it's time. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ji ki.
It looks like a very big project.